Sacrificing time for this shit, man, I got a plan. Tried to tell niggas years ago, they ain't understand. Riding by myself and it's cool, I'm all in my head. Everything in life you can't replace, I build relationships. Pretty little smile make a nigga wanna lock it in. We met the same time I lost a friend, we should try again. You been on my mind, you should hop in. I ain't gon' hurt you, baby girl, you know we locked in. Used to be on FaceTime calls on the regular. Never made time, landed on my busy schedule. Now every time I hit the bay, you know I think of you. Working on your brand, love, you know that.
Henny the Moore reporting live from the liquor store, man. And when all three of us come together, man, it's Cowboys Uncut.
Goddess.
West Coast Cowboy in the middle, the Kanye West of this content stuff.
And I'm a day one type of girl. Ain't nothing wishy-washy over here. I don't jump around, stick to one side. Yeah, the silver, the blue, we got them in their feelings. That star on the field, come pay the D a visit. They say it's hatred, is it? I call it hate and simping. Cause if we wasn't that hating, they wouldn't be in our business. Listen, West Coast say the water tastes better. The fan base go harder, and all the ladies get wetter. Yeah, that's how it is when you straight reppin' for Dallas. We get it in the trap, and landlord tell us what's happening. No explanations in no shape, form, or fashion. When Henny drop the stats, ain't nothing else to be asking. Them numbers don't lie, that's why your argument dry. And we still got them rings, you got your eyes on our prize. Whether an eagle, a giant, or a commando, you in the parking lot crying, we in the Lambo, we stay in our bag, we run it up in the draft. You still talking about the 90s, so who's stuck in the past? Get off me, and I'ma need you 6 feet back. And we ain't hearing nothing till your team beat that. And we ain't scared of running. So one team over here is Cowboys, believe it. Yeah, it's you got it's a poet. Big up West Coast Cowboys, HTM Sports, and Landlord from Alabama. Y'all check them boys out, man. Don't play around with the Cowboys content. Yeah, and you know it's DC. Yeah, DC 4L. All day. Every day.
My dear Aunt Sally, we is at the P right now. We gotta go to free agency, then we gotta go to draft, then we can talk about training camp.
And Stephen Jones, who's also a multi-millionaire, moves and feels like a what? Like a dude that is got $15 in his bank account.
We finna come marching to Dallas with our picket signs, ticket torches, everything we can find.
What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy, Henny the Moore, reporting live from the liquor store, man. How's everybody doing this wonderful morning? We tapped in. Listen, this ain't AI. This ain't no clone. It's the real deal, Holyfield. It's your boy, Henny the Moore, opened up early to serve his clientele in the liquor store, man. So listen, I know that it's not even 6 o'clock in some places, man. Like right now it's 5:49 in Texas. But listen, that don't mean that you can't go and get you some orange juice, pour you up a little bit of vodka in and have you a mimosa, kick back, relax, and get a little tipsy. I know a lot of y'all got to take your asses to work. So we're going to get a little tipsy out the Dallas Cowboys content this morning, man. But salute to everybody taking time out of the day to tap in and join me, man. Salute to y'all good folks. And we're going to just chop it up, man. We're going to talk about some of these upcoming training camp battles and roster competitions, man. Because one of the primary things that Brian Schottenheimer has been preaching since he took control of the Dallas Cowboys is fair and open competition. And training camp, preseason, that's when we're really going to get the opportunity to see if it's just lip service or if he's really building that competition culture, right? That competition culture. Because we're going to have people there. We're going to have boots on the ground. West's going to be out there, man. West's going to be out there, man. Landlord going to be out there. Law will probably be out there, man. So we're going to have a whole bunch of folks, they said, you going to be following the newsletter or you just not worth it? I don't know what the fuck you talking about. BB, I don't know what the hell you snoring and what the fuck you talking about. I don't give a fuck what you talking about, honestly. It's 5:51 in the morning and you talk about some unnecessary, unadulterated bullshit. So we're not gonna be talking about anything that you want. And no, the mic ain't off, man. We got all this shit going. Yeah, all this shit is on. Said when training camp starts in a week. They go to Oxnard in a week. Matter of fact, I don't think I even like this bitch. Let me get this hoe off here. Yeah, training camp starts in a week, dog. It starts in a week. And that's why we got to be prepared. That's why we got to be ready, for everything that's coming our way, man. So we're going to talk about some of these roster battles. But y'all know the deal, man. On the way into the liquor store, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that share button. Make sure you slap the dog shit out of an Eagle fan. And definitely slap the fuck out of a troll. Slap the dog shit out of an Eagles fan and slap the fuck out of a troll, man. Like, it's too early to be answering stupid ass questions, dog. If you illiterate, if you can't read a motherfucking YouTube title, I don't want you in this motherfucker. We gonna rock out with the day ones. We gonna rock out with the Cowboy fans. That's what we rocking out with this morning, man. So salute to everybody that can read that's in the chat box, man. Let's get it. We thugging this morning, man. Fuck that shit. So let's start with one roster battle that folks aren't really talking about. And it's for that green dot. Now, it's not to say that both of these guys ain't gonna play. Because I believe Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray are both going to play. The real question is, who is going to win the competition to have the green dot in this defense? Who's going to be the middle linebacker? Who will be making the defensive adjustments? Who is going to be the brain of the defense? Who's going to be the tether, to Matt Eberflus's defense? Who that's going to be? Because as of right now, these are really the only two options the Dallas Cowboys have. Jack Sanborn, who played in the system just last year over there with the Chicago Bears, wore the green dot for Matt Eberflus in that defensive scheme. And then we got Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray does have reps at middle linebacker. I just think middle linebacker is the weaker position for Kenneth Murray. I think Kenneth Murray has superb athleticism. He's a good sideline-to-sideline player. He can fill gaps quickly. I don't necessarily believe that his strengths will be playing middle linebacker. But because the Dallas Cowboys don't really have depth there at that position, but they don't really have a true middle linebacker. They don't have a Roquan Smith. They don't have, one of the other premier guys in the middle of that defense. They're going to have to do what they got to do. Like, somebody has to have it. And really, when you think about it, man, a lot of folks have wore the green dot for the Dallas Cowboys. At one point, safety J-Ron Kearse were in the green dot for the Dallas Cowboys defense. They just go to show you how small we played a lot of times. And listen, Leofau doesn't play middle linebacker. He does not play middle linebacker. I believe, that's the thing. We got a whole bunch of guys that excel at playing the wheel and playing the sim. We don't necessarily have a bunch of guys that are Mike linebackers right now on this current roster as the team's currently constructed. I think Leofau is dope. I think Leofau is going to be a very good player for a long time. But I don't necessarily believe he's a middle linebacker. And I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but I don't want to throw Leofau to that kind of fire where he doesn't really have that much experience at that position. Jack Sanborn at least has experience on his build already. Kenneth Murray at least has experience on his build already playing that position. I don't necessarily think that either one of these guys are going to be top tier talent at the middle linebacker position. But like I said, somebody got to do it. It's just like being a trash man. Like, nobody, grows up and says, I'm going to be in sanitation. You know what I'm saying? Nobody grows up and says, I'm going to be in sanitation. But it's a job that you need. It's an important job. It got to get done. Like, whole city shut down. That's really what's going on with them strikes right now. Your city will get shut down. That shit going to be rancid, raggedy, and toe up if you ain't got nobody taking the trash out, getting rid of the pollution and filth in the city. And that's really what it is with, like, middle linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys right now. You don't necessarily have a real good middle linebacker on your team, but somebody got to do the job. You know what I mean? Somebody got to go out there and make those adjustments. Somebody got to play Mike. Somebody got to sit in the middle of that defense and make the plays. So, honestly, I'm really interested to see how this pans out. So, if you just go by the tea leaves, I would believe that Jack Sanborn is going to win the competition because he already has the experience in the defense with Matt Eberflus, as I stated before, but also he is more of a cerebral player. I'm not saying that either one of these guys is stupid or smarter. I ain't talking about like, IQs or, back in school what their GPAs and shit was. I'm talking about understanding the game, analyzing offensive packages, analyzing offensive sets, wide receiver sets, play recognition, making the necessary change, make the adjustments, the switches. Like, I believe Jack Sanborn might be better suited for that because Kenneth Murray is a heat-seeking missile, and I really don't want to take that away from this Dallas Cowboys defense. So we'll see who actually goes out there and wins the competition. If I wanted to put money on this, I, Henny the Moore, would bet that Jack Sanborn would win that Mike competition because somebody has to wear the green dot. Somebody has to be, in the middle of that defense making those adjustments. But, what do y'all think though? Some of y'all probably think, damn, fuck that. We're just going to bring somebody else in. Let's make a swing and bring in another middle linebacker. But as it stands right now, that linebacker competition for who's going to wear the green dot and pretty much be the field general for Matt Eberflus's defense is going to be between Sanborn and it's going to be between Kenneth Murray. Those are the two guys with the most middle linebacker experience on the team. You could throw a dark horse in like a Buddy Johnson or somebody, but really somebody like that far back on the depth chart, we just got to see they even make the damn, initial 53-man roster. So right now it is solely between Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn. But what are y'all thoughts, man? Put it in the chat box. He said last year they was calling him a future green dot. That's why I asked, what about Leofau? Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just don't think that's going to be this year. They're not moving, especially when you think about the injuries to Overshown. If Overshown was there and you had more guys to play, to play that wheel and that whatchamacallit position, that wheel and that Sam position, sure, you might be able to take a swing there. But it's all hands on deck right now. They talking about the Marvin Overshown not coming back until Marvin Overshown said he's gonna come back about Thanksgiving, so he might miss more time than that. We talking about Overshown missing like 10 plus games, so I don't think you can afford to have Leofau, who is one of your better, outside linebackers. I don't think that you can afford to have him playing Mike and learning Mike. Cause I don't think Jack Sanborn really can play the other positions. I think Jack Sanborn really is pigeonholed into the Mike linebacker role because of his lack of athleticism. You know what I'm saying? He's not this all-world athlete. Jack Sanborn isn't. So I think he might better be suited to play middle linebacker. So I said I like that kid. And he is somebody. I know you talk about Shamar Thomas from Florida. He's somebody that got to learn the role. That's somebody that got to learn the role of linebacker. He gonna take some time. He gonna be in the oven cooking for a very long time. Don't be surprised if you don't see extended snaps from him until next season. Speaking of next season, we're gonna touch on this before we go on to the next subject. Henny, do you think the NFL will give Turpin a suspension? And my answer is not in 2025. I believe that Turpin is probably going to get suspended for 3 games, the same way that they did Sam Williams. But the way that the NFL handles it, they're going to wait until all of the legal matters are resolved before they hand down any kind of suspension. That's one of the reasons why Rashee Rice is going to play this year. Rashee Rice's trial does not start until January of 2026. So Rashee Rice is going to play all of the 2025 season. And his suspension is probably going to come sometime in 2026. So Turpin is not going to get suspended this year because I don't believe that the legal matter will be resolved by this year. But 2026, they'll give him 3 games. Because listen, y'all don't think about it. You don't think about it, but they gave Sam Williams 3 games. You don't realize they gave Sam Williams 3 games because he was already hurting on IR. So instead of him having to miss the time, Sam Williams will just dock 3 game day checks while he was on IR, right? So Sam Williams, similar situation, got pulled over speeding with a gun. You know, pretty much the same damn charges that Turpin got, if my memory serves correctly. They gave Sam Williams a 3-game suspension. So, you know, that's why I say probably 3 games. It won't be this year. Because remember, Sam caught his shit in 2023. They didn't suspend him till this year. And you don't realize that they suspended Sam Williams because they held his suspension while he was already on IR. So Sam Williams missed 3 game checks due to some shit that happened to him in a similar situation to Cavante Turpin. They don't care about that. Like I said, you're not wrong. I live in Texas. So you're not wrong. They're both misdemeanors. But both will still be violations of the NFL personal conduct shit. Same thing they did to Sam. Same situation. Speeding, ride with the strap, had a little bit of weed on you. The two of them together made it a misdemeanor. Because riding with a gun in Texas is not an offense by itself. Riding with a gun and weed in Texas is the offense because you can't have both at the same time. That's what makes it even a misdemeanor. You know, because he didn't have a big amount of weed on him. The amount of weed that he had isn't criminal. The gun isn't criminal. Having them in conjunction together would made it a misdemeanor offense, I should say. Shout out to the Cowboys by nature. Shout out to Sido. Shout out to everybody. We Woo Cowboys. Shout out to everybody that's early in the liquor store with me, man. Just make sure on the way in, y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that share button. Y'all slap the dog shit out of an Eagles fan. And, hey, we going to keep rocking, man. Salute to all y'all good people. He said that we can't win games without Turpin, then we in trouble anyway. Well, listen, I think that's something you ain't got to worry about this year. They're not going to suspend Turpin anytime in 2025. He said, how come we never signed Calais Campbell to shore up the tackle box? They might hate the nigga. I don't know. It never made sense because Calais Campbell, even when folks were saying Calais Campbell was over the hill, he was still out there producing. So I'm not sure why the Calais Campbell connection never happened and never, came to anything in Dallas. But I always wanted Calais Campbell. I won't hold you. I always, wanted Calais Campbell on the team. But, they go back to how the Dallas Cowboys treat defensive tackle. That's a whole nother discussion. So let's talk about another camp battle. And this one is really between a bunch of people. So we know the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver room went from being a piece of raggedy horse shit to being a shining crown jewel. Like the Dallas Cowboys, after the George Pickens trade, now have one of the better, wide receiver rooms in the National Football League. Boy, tell your mama to back that ass up on this dick, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Talk about back that face up front of camera. Nah, nigga. Tell your mama to back that ass up on this dick, nigga. Fuck wrong with you, boy? Coming in here, lost in Vegas. You lost in Vegas and poor, nigga. You out there bitch panhandling. You lost all your money. You lost all your revenue, nigga. Fuck that nigga. I'm talking about lost in Vegas by choice. Now, it ain't by choice, nigga. You lost in Vegas because you a bum. He said, we still lack a defensive tackle. They be calling him old and all he does is show up and show out. Man, I fuck with Calais Campbell. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I got shooters in this bitch. Go ahead and shoot this whole ass nigga, man. But anyway, the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver room is superb now once you add George Pickens. Matter of fact, it's so good that you know exactly who your top 5 wide receivers are. You know for a fact that there are 5 locks in the wide receiver room. It's CeeDee Lamb, of course, George Pickens, Jalen Tolbert, John Domingo, who they traded for. They haven't seen return on investment yet, so he's going to make the team. And, of course, Cavante Turpin, who already has kickoff duties. He's going to have an expanded role in the passing game as well this year, right? So you already know your top 5 wide receivers in the national football, for the Dallas Cowboys. The real fight and the real competition is going to be for that final roster spot. That final roster spot is going to be a doozy. Because that's going to come down between Jalen Brooks, Ryan Flournoy. We forget that they signed Paris Campbell. They brought in, Trayshawn Holden. He said, what's my cash app? Let me put it in the chat box, my brother. Hold that thought. It's $ Henny the Moore, but let me put it in the chat box for you real quick, man. There you go, brother. I just put it in there for you. There you go. $ Henny the Moore. So, yeah, man. So, when you talk about... Yeah, and listen, I like Jalen Moreno. I liked the Jalen Moreno Cropper coming out. Like, I actually thought that he was going to be good. He just hasn't hit yet. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's about time that you get Jalen Moreno Cropper up out of here. Once you spend 2 years, on the practice squad, I think it's time. If you can't work your way onto the active roster after 2 or 3 years on the practice squad, I think it's time to rotate them out. Listen, like I said, I like Jalen Moreno Cropper coming out, but he hasn't hit on nothing. He ain't did nothing. You could be high on a player and then them not produce or not make any strides to. And you just gotta accept that they ain't gonna be what you thought they was. You know what I mean? So between these guys, I'm really interested because I know you said that Paris Campbell is getting cut. He might make the team when you think about it, and for this one reason. Paris Campbell can play special teams. Because you really don't have any wide receiver you want to stick back there if something happened to Turpin. Paris Campbell is a 4-3 guy. He's a veteran. He has experience at wide receiver. So he might make the squad playing on the practice squad. But you could also make the same argument with Holden or Josh Kelly. They could be gunners. How well does Trayshawn Holden tackle? You know what I'm saying? Because somebody got to play special teams. Somebody got to play special teams and have upside. Salute to my boy JV B-Boy in the building, man. Thank you for rocking with me this morning. So, yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting battle between all those guys, man. And yeah, that is fair. Paris has had more success than Mingo and them others, which is true. Up to this point, he's done more in the NFL. He also hasn't been able to stay healthy, and that's one of the reasons why he done bounced around the way that he has. Despite having the skill set that he has. So I'm interested. And then when it comes down to it. Oh shoot! Hey, salute to my brother Cowboys by Nature for the Cash App, man. He said thanks for all your hard work. I appreciate that, man. We do a lot. We do a lot in creating these slides. We do a lot of doing the research that we do. We do a lot of stat digging. Breaking down film. So I appreciate you, man, for acknowledging the efforts. And supporting the content, man. So salute to you. Thank you for the love and support. And if anybody else want to help keep the lights on in the liquor store, because y'all know I cuss everybody out. I just cussed somebody out earlier. I don't know if they deserved it or not, but it's 5. Because they sounded real condescending when they came in this bitch. I ain't going to hold you. Like, are you going to talk about the news or is it worth it? Bitch, what you talking about, ho? This is a fucking Cowboys. This is a Cowboys content show, bitch. This says Cowboys training camp. Like, what the hell we gonna talk about the news for? We ain't talking about none of that shit that going on if it ain't Dallas Cowboys related. So I had to cut some people out. We had a broke nigga in here, a panhandler from Vegas in this bitch earlier. We had an Eagles fan in here earlier talking about, do we eat poo-poo? No, bitch. That's what your fan base do. So, you know. It is what it is, but salute to everybody. I appreciate y'all for rocking out in the liquor store. We just up here talking about camp battles. Cause I'm from the show me state at this point, man. Shotty. If you really about competition, I need to see it, man. I need to see competition right now. And my point being, we gonna have some top tier, real deal content creators out there at training camp. They're gonna have their eyes on the players. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be clear and obvious who is winning these camp battles. And if they're pushing the person that's not actively out there winning day in and day out, we're gonna know. So you can say the competition bullshit for somebody that's gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? You can say the competition bullshit for somebody else if you ain't gonna go out there and actively let the best player play. You know what I'm saying? So for example, this is a roster battle I'm gonna be watching with an eagle eye. Cause everybody had Joe Milton penciled in as the backup quarterback. Well, I tell you what, if Will Grier is out that bitch hooping, he's slanging the peel all around the yard, he's making plays, and he looks like the better quarterback. And then we get out there in preseason, and Will Grier is hooping, and he's playing good football, and he's playing better than my boy Joe Milton. I want Will Grier to be the backup quarterback. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, because I believe in Joe Milton. I think Joe Milton is going to win the job. But this is just a simple, hypothetical. If Will Grier is out there balling, he's hitting guys in stride, he's throwing touchdowns, he's running the offense efficiently and effectively, he's not turning the ball over, right? If he's out there playing the position better than Joe Milton, then I believe he should be the backup quarterback. And that is really the kind of environment this kind of environment that Shotty said he's trying to build. You should be able to work your ass off, and if you're out there outperforming people, it should pay dividends. Like any other time, right? Any other time, yeah, Milton is extremely talented. I don't expect him to lose the position. I'm just using this as a hypothetical. Any other time, if the Dallas Cowboys traded for somebody or brought them in and they're favored, they would automatically have the spot. So I want to make sure that this is all about fair and open competition. Because I'm going to be looking at this. I'm going to be looking at this. And honestly, I'm going to go even further. The Dallas Cowboys should bring in another quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys should bring in another quarterback. You should be going in here with 4. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't just want to give one of these guys the emergency quarterback position just because. There should be a real deal fight for your life, battle for the emergency quarterback position. I know you ain't typed that shit in the same sentence. That shit don't even sound right. This boy said, Cowboys suck, go Panthers. So if the Dallas Cowboys are trash, or the Panthers not garbage juice, or they not fecal matter, or they not dingleberries, or they not that little piece of tissue that gets stuck in your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the Panthers? If the Dallas Cowboys are trash, are the Panthers not shit juice? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I want to know. Shout out to Dunny Holmes in the building too, man. Salute to you for sliding in on the early morning stream, man. We rocking out in the liquor store. We having some mojitos and shit, man. So hey, we out here rocking. This nigga said the Panthers. Oh, salute to Donna on the Cash App too, man. He said much love. I appreciate that, dog. I appreciate y'all for helping keep the lights on in the liquor store. So yeah, man. If y'all want to support, Cash App is $Henny the More. I'm gonna put it in the chat across all platforms. But yeah, that's crazy. This nigga said the Panthers. Like the highlight of the Panthers is going to the Super Bowl and losing. It is, listen, if the Dallas Cowboys are has-beens, the motherfucking Panthers are never was. They are an organization that never was shit. The Panthers never was a damn thing. You know, they were the runner-ups. They are career runner-ups and failures. That's what the Panthers are. The Dallas Cowboys have a legacy. You know, they one of the top sports franchises in North America. They one of the top sports franchises in the world. You know, they still, even with all the dysfunction, they still got the second most titles, you know, in history of the sport. All the folks talking shit, they talking shit from the rear. They still ain't caught up to the Dallas Cowboys and what they've accomplished. Even with the delay, even with the gap in between success, they still have not really put a dent into what the Dallas Cowboys have accomplished as an organization. So, you know, I appreciate the trolls, man, but y'all gonna have to get your ass back underneath the bridge or jump off that bitch. One of the two. Go back underneath the bridge or jump off the bridge. You're gonna have to do one of the two, my nigga. Yeah, you could at least said the Steelers. You could at least said, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs or something. You could have said something. You could have said something, you know, better than that. Yeah, these folks crazy. These folks is crazy. And listen, if we're gonna have to talk about camp battles, we're gonna have to talk about camp battles. And I get tired of talking about it because it's like every time I pull up the running backs on the Dallas Cowboys roster, you know, I lose my enthusiasm. Like, I start doing content early, I done drunk my coffee, I'm up, I'm amped, I'm energized, I'm ready to talk my shit, I'm ready to talk about football. Then I look at the Dallas Cowboys running back room and I just want to give up. You know, I want to just give up the moment I see these niggas. It's awful, man. Because regardless of who the hell wins, regardless of who ends up being my starting running back in 2025, I don't believe in none of these niggas. And I'm not saying that there won't be guys that can prove Henny wrong. They might prove Henny the more wrong. They might prove that they belong in the NFL. Javonte Williams might prove that he's going to have a bounce back year. You know what I'm saying? You know, Miles Sanders might prove that the Wash allegations were overhyped. Jadon Blue might prove that default or delusional and say that he is Jameer Gibbs and all this other shit. You know, he might prove them wrong. Deuce Vaughn might prove that he's a regular-sized human being and can play running back. You know, Deuce Vaughn might prove you don't need a microscope to see him. But I'm not really enthused, and I'm not really excited about the Dallas Cowboys running back room because I don't really see the talent. I don't really see, and this is the thing. You know, this is bad list season. You know, I call it bad list season when we're in the off season and they making these top, and they ranking all positions across the league and they making these top 10s for quarterbacks and shit. They ranked the Dallas Cowboys running back room dead last in the NFL, and I couldn't say shit to defend them. That's how you know it's bad. I usually make bad lists of the content on my show. You know, they have a list, Dak Prescott outside the top 10. I can make content on there. I got all the analytics in the world and all the film in the world to disprove that shit. You rate the Dallas Cowboys running back room 32nd, I can't even defend these niggas. I can't defend shit. So, yes, like, honestly, your running back room is probably the weakest on your team. It's probably the weakest position on your team, your running backs. So, regardless of who end up winning the position, if it's Javonte Williams, cool. If it's Miles Sanders, cool. If it's Phil Maffa, cool. If it's Jadon Blue somehow, you know, against all odds, cool. But I don't believe that you have a top tier back on your roster. I don't believe you have a top 15 back on your roster. I don't believe you got a top 20 back on your roster. So you better hope that the scheme and the offensive line is so dominant that you can plug and play anybody right? That you gotta hope for that. You gotta hope that the running lanes are enormous. You gotta hope that the offensive line is dominant. You gotta hope that the run scheme helps elevate the personnel. You gotta hope all this shit. Because regardless of who actually wins that running back battle in camp or in preseason, I'm not really sold on them boys like that, man. And listen, in 17 games, could one of these guys get 1,000 yards? Sure. Of course, it's 17 games. I want y'all to realize something. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on anybody. You know, I'm not trying to poo-poo on anybody. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I'm not trying to, rain on anybody's parade. I just want to do simple math with y'all real quick. In a 17-game season, 1,000 yards is only 58 yards a game. They can literally have 59. They can literally be held to only 59 yards every single game and break 1,000 and break 1,000. So 1,000 yards means nothing. Like, to really, in this day and age, to really have a dominant running back, that gotta be like 1,200, dog. They gotta be like 13. Like Saquon just ran for 2,000. Derrick Henry just ran for 1,900. Bijan Robinson just ran for 1,400. Those are the kind of running back performances that get you out of bed. That's the kind of running game that keep folks up at night trying to game plan for them. So who on this team can run for 1,400 yards, dog? Which one of these niggas you think can run for 1,400 yards? Which one of these niggas you think can run for 1,200 yards? If the answer is nobody, Dallas Cowboys need to be on the phone trying to make a trade. Like Indianapolis Colts, like y'all ain't doing shit with Jonathan Taylor, man. Like let us give you a 4th round pick, let us give you a 3rd round pick, let us give you a 5th round pick. Let us take him off your hands. Let us take him off your hands, dog. Y'all ain't trying to compete. Your quarterback situation is shit. Your upper management is shit. You ain't trying to build no winning roster to compete for no Super Bowl. You ain't fucking with the Texans in your own division right now. So go ahead and up Jonathan Taylor to the Dallas Cowboys, man. Buffalo Bills. If you don't want to do right, by James Cook, we'll slide you a 6th round pick and we'll pay the man. We can't give you a lot of assets and also pay him, but we'll give you a 6th round pick or a 5th round pick and take James Cook off your hands if you ain't gonna pay him. Like you need to be calling one of these running backs that are good and on shit teams or that are good and are in contract negotiations and stalemates with their current teams. Travis Etienne, he might be better. Listen, I'm not a big Travis Etienne fan, but I guarantee you he's probably better than what we have. You know what I'm saying? And for me, honestly, most times, all you got to do is be better than what I got, and I could be interested in you. Get Stevenson from the Patriots. I don't mind that. I just need somebody that got a little bit more juice than what we currently have. Now, the only way this running back room is anything is if one of these rookies is better than I am projecting. Like, it's going to take Phil Maffa or Jadon Blue being way better than we expected in order for this rushing game to be anything. Because at this point, there's a lot of wear and tear on Javonte Williams' legs. He's had the knee injury. He's been trying to come back from that. It was very severe. Hasn't really been the same player since. Miles Sanders, hasn't really been the same player since he left Philadelphia. It's going to have to really be one of these young guys being way better than we expected in order for this running back room to really grow and prosper and be a threat in the year 2025. Because I believe this upcoming year they're going to draft somebody higher. If Jadon Blue or Phil Maffa, don't hit I guarantee you the Dallas Cowboys are going to be using a top 100 pick on their running back. It might not be a first round pick, but a second round pick, a third round pick for a running back, that is coming. If Jadon Blue or Phil Maffa don't hit this year, they are going to use a top 100 pick on a running back in the 2026 draft. They're going to do that. I have no doubts in my mind about that. But as of now, trying to compete, trying to win, because you got a good roster. And I really don't want, to be held back by the inefficiencies in the running game. Like, the only thing that can really hold this offense back is being one-dimensional. And nobody respecting the run, not being able to dictate the shell coverages that you see, right? Because if you line up and go heavy and teams don't adjust and go 8-man front, you know what I'm saying, then you really can't win too many games like that, dog. If a team can put both their safeties back in coverage and play a too high safety shell and still stop your your run, if they could play cover 2, Tampa 2, 2-man, cover 5, they could play that shit and stop your run, you're in hell. You ain't gonna win shit. Cause now they ain't gotta play me straight up. I'm never gonna get no one-on-ones on the outside if I'm going up against two safety shells all game. You said not a team for real, not a running back. I'll say this: the Dallas Cowboys' identity has always been running the football. Shout out to Jay Tuck. He made me do my homework on Dwayne Thomas back in the gap, the first running back that we won a Super Bowl with back in the time of Roger Staubach, was an All-Pro. Had an open contract dispute, got traded. The trade got axed. He ended up coming back to the Dallas Cowboys, helping them win their first Super Bowl in franchise history. So I really didn't know about the boy, but he was really the first 33. So matter of fact, go and check Jay Tuck's video out. It was a very good, insightful video that he had. But we went from Dwayne Thomas to Tony Dorsett to Herschel Walker. Even though those were the grim years for the Dallas Cowboys, they still had Herschel Walker. Then they went from Herschel Walker to Emmitt Smith. Went from Emmitt Smith to Marion the Barbarian, helping those mid-2000 teams with Tony Romo, right? Then we had DeMarco Murray. Then we had Ezekiel Elliott. And then for a short period of time, we had Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. So the Dallas Cowboys, say what you want, they've always had some good running backs. Now, in the modern times, they haven't run the ball nearly as much as they needed to. They haven't run the ball nowhere near the clip that they actually needed to. But the Dallas Cowboys have usually had running back talent. The issue with the Dallas Cowboys in recent time was having good running backs and not using them. Now the Dallas Cowboys just don't have any good running backs. They call it Blue Magic. They calling him Blue Magic because he's dynamic, or they calling him Blue Magic because they out here slanging that that hopium. Now why are they calling him Blue Magic? Is he dope, or is he dope as a player, or is the love for him the dope? I need to know. I need to know. But shout out to my boy Israel. I appreciate you for sliding in here, my boy. We 53 deep in the liquor store right now, man. I need at least 53 likes. I need y'all to order 53 bottles. I need y'all to slap 53 Eagles fans. What's happening, man? Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button. Bring y'all some premium content early in the morning, man. Oh, yeah. Hey, shout out to Felix Jones, man. Shout out my nigga Felix Jones, man. Like, for real, though, I used to like Felix Jones. Now, I like Felix Jones, because of a personal bias. I am still to this day an Arkansas Razorback fan. I'm from Arkansas. So, those teams with Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, that shit meant something to me. You know, that shit meant something to me. Bitch, of course. Don't ask no nigga from the South if they like fried chicken. Benji, the fuck wrong with you? Now, I know you meant that to be, you know, a little racist, but bitch, of course, niggas in the South eat chicken. Now, I probably get canceled if I asked if you wash your ass, because I'm pretty sure that you're, you know, I ain't gonna go there. But yeah, dog, of course, niggas the South. I'm from Arkansas. We eat the whole chicken, bitch. We eat deer too. What the fuck wrong with these niggas, man? Alright. He said, I don't see why people overhype Blue, and I don't see 4.2 speed. Hey, shout out to Ryan Mallett. I live in the town that Ryan Mallett is from. I live in Texarkana. So shout out to Ryan Mallett. I really thought that Ryan Mallett was gonna go to the NFL and do something, man. You know, he ended up making some rosters. He made it as a backup quarterback for a while. But I really doubt that Ryan Mallett could be a starter in the NFL with the kind of throws he was making. He said, "Where your coffee? What's up, Just Blaze?" Hey, Just Blaze, salute to you. Henny in my coffee, man. Listen, we ain't got no Henny in this coffee right here, but it is hidden. It is a little strong. Now, have y'all ever made coffee with coffee? You take the old coffee and you run it through instead of water with the new. Yes, fact. Shout out to Jason Peters, also a former Razorback. A lot of people don't know this, man. Jason Peters was playing tight end for the Razorbacks at one point. You know what I mean? He was playing tight end. That man was a true athlete. So shout out to Jason Peters, man. But yeah, my Razorbacks really done put some dogs into the league, man. If you a 49ers fan, like, you gotta say Woo Pig Suey, for that boy Dre Greenlaw. I know he ain't on your team no more, but he was one of those anchors in the middle of that defense, along with Warner. Yeah, superb athlete, man. Superb athlete. Even when he was older and was playing on the Dallas Cowboys, like, he was out there bitch He was out there bitch moving well. Like, you would forget that he was damn near 40 years old when he was playing with the Dallas Cowboys, man. Like, he was playing good football for us. Man, Traylon Burks went to the wrong team. He been dealing with injuries. Like, Tennessee is where wide receivers go and die. Cause think about it. Even AJ Brown wasn't putting up numbers, and AJ Brown is a top 5 wide receiver in the National Football League. AJ Brown was looked at as a bottom 20 wide receiver. When he was with the Tennessee Titans, he was looked at as like a bottom 20, like maybe a bottom 15 wide receiver. He a top 5 wide receiver now that we know of. He's making all-pro teams. He's setting records. He's scoring touchdowns. Like, like A.J. Brown wasn't looking like A.J. Brown over there with the Tennessee Titans. We know he dope. So, I just think he need to get the fuck away from there. He need to get some competent quarterback play in his life. He needs to play in an offense that can get him the ball consistently, and he also needs to stay healthy. I know that we're getting sidetracked talking about Razorbacks, but shit, they're my guys, man. Them are my people. They said AJ Brown a dog. Listen, that's what I hope, because AJ Brown is dope. I just hope that he's not dope when we play him. I just hope that and that's really another thing we need to talk about corner, and then we'll shut the show down, because we've been on here almost an hour, and I do got to get ready for the regular job and shit. But I guess we can touch on corner, and then we can dip. Yeah, that's another position that's already deep. So what I think they'll do, I believe the Dallas Cowboys, if they get that run game down, they can win 12 games. I also see a scenario where the defense isn't fixed, the offensive line isn't fixed, They might win 9 or 10 games. You know, like I can see it going either way, man. I gotta see more before I put some shit in stone. But if I go out here and see this offensive line is dominant, and they're elevating these mediocre running backs that we got, oh man, I'm talking crazy. I'm saying Dallas Cowboys can win the Super Bowl. If I go out here and we're one-dimensional and Dak Prescott got to throw the ball 50 times and the defense giving up ass, oh man. So I'm taking a wait-and-see approach with my Dallas Cowboys. I see the potential to win 12 games if we hit on all the gambles that we took. But, you know, I just got to see how the shit plays out. Dallas Cowboys wide receivers. Camp battles. Dog, you too injured to have camp battles. It's all hands on deck. Like, listen, if you want to make the team right now, if you want to make the team on the Dallas Cowboys, change your position to cornerback. Because you're going to at least be on the initial 53-man roster. You'll probably at least be on the roster for the first 4 games. If you want to guarantee yourself a roster spot, because Diggs is probably going to start on the pup. Siobhan Revel is going to probably start on the pup. And then you got the boy, Josh Butler. He probably going to start on the pup. I don't know what the health is of Kalen Carson. They say he's healthy. We're gonna act like he's healthy. That's only like 4 or 5 healthy corners. And then I got Israel listed here. Israel is also included in the safety room. So Israel is playing a dual role. So guys that only play corner, there's like 4 of them niggas. DeRon Bland, Elam, Kalen Carson, and Troy Pride. Those are your 4 healthy cornerbacks. Because listen, you could remove Izzy too, because like I said, he's technically still a safety. They haven't publicly said they're gonna move him back to corner. So my question to y'all, how can you have a roster battle? You can have a battle about who's gonna play first. You go dime, all these niggas gonna have to play. You go dime, they all gonna have to touch the field. You go dime, they all gonna have to cover somebody. You only got 4 healthy corners if you don't count Israel McQuamu, who's technically a safety still. Trey probably gonna start on the pup. Revel gonna probably start on the pup. Josh Butler gonna probably start on the pup. And Israel McQuamu is technically still a safety. They haven't officially moved him back to corner. So DeRon Bland, Elam, Kalen Carson, who is also injured, coming off of an injury, and Troy Pride. Matter of fact, is Troy Pride healthy? Is Troy Pride healthy? Okay, so Troy Pride is fine. It looks like Troy Pride is not injured right now. Do we still got Andrew Booth? I keep seeing people throw that name out there. Andrew Booth still on the team? Yeah, I guess he is. So Booth. And damn, nah, man, I don't want to count Booth. Do we really have to count Booth? Do we really got to count Andrew Booth? Now listen, if you want somebody to give up touchdowns and get paid for it, you can put Henry Moore out there. I'll go out there and get cooked for half the price as Andrew Booth. Yes, he does. Ugh. Yeah, Andrew Booth is still on the team. You are right about that. All right. So yeah, and listen. I like the cornerback room when they're healthy. You just ain't healthy right now. Because when you're healthy, like let's go to fantasy world. When you're healthy, you can field a cornerback room that says All Pro Trayvon Diggs, All Pro DeRon Bland, first round grade Elam, first round grade Siobhan Revel. You can go nickel and dime with all that talent, right? You got 3-4 top tier talents at the cornerback position when healthy. The issue is like, are they going to be healthy? Like, how long is Trayvon Diggs' knee gonna hold up when he do come back? How well is Siobhan River gonna play as a rookie with limited college experience? He only played 3 games last year before he got hurt. You know? Yeah, I didn't understand that shit. We weighed Justin Rogers but cut Booth. But yeah. But I just wanted to go live and bring y'all some content real quick, man. You know, I got to get ready for work. Got to go make the money. Got to go bring home the bacon. So, you know, we appreciate y'all for everything. So the Eagles gone hell no. The Eagles, listen, the Eagles might split with the Dallas Cowboys. But there has never been a season when Dak Prescott has played and been healthy that the Eagles have swept the Dallas Cowboys. Go look at that man's record against the Philadelphia Eagles. Go look at that man's record against the Philadelphia Eagles. We do not get swept by the Eagles when Dak Prescott plays. If anything, we sweep the Eagles. So I ain't worried about the niggas in the division. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to them. They're good teams. I mean no disrespect by that. They're great teams. But I ain't worried about them niggas. Like, you know, sometimes you would much rather, you know, stick with the devil that you know. We play the Eagles and the Commanders way too often to be scared of them. We know their personnel. We know their tendencies. We know their coaches. We got all the film of the world on them. We know how to attack them. They know how to attack us. You know, that what makes divisional games so fun. No, that what make them so fun. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all. I got to go. In the words of my brother, West Coast Cowboy. Shout out to my brother, Angry, too. Angry, got to hit my line. We got to do some more work. We got to do some content maybe on the weekend. Let me know what your schedule looking like. But yeah, we definitely going to have to lock in some more Angry. Always good content. Y'all make sure that y'all go like and subscribe to the Angry Cowboys fan. Show my brother some love and support. But in the words of my guy, West Coast Cowboy, never look down because the star is up. Peace.